Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Tristan and this is my little corner of the internet, and I want to just tell you guys what a great day I'm having. I was up all night last night playing Doom and it was fun. I had a lot of fun doing it, which is why it was fun. And what I was trying to do was actually put together a little bit of a tutorial for you guys just to share some information in case you're not able to play, or if you have any questions, maybe there's something here I can answer for you. Again, I am not a very good FPS player, and so I'm not going to give you guys any advice on that particular front. But as far as the numbers and things like that, and then also giving us a little bit of an explanation of what some of these different things are and what they do, I figured I can go ahead and help you guys with that. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be doing a team deathmatch, and to start out we have a sniper, and they suck, especially on this map. So let's go ahead and start out by talking about these bounties, since they already showed up here. A bounty is kind of like a perk or a certain skill that you're able to use throughout the game that gives you a certain advantage. Now these things are not very OP, so you're not going to be able to do a ton of stuff with them. But for example, my personal favorites are the supply cooldown timer. I also like the XP boost. And there's another one that also shows you how much life your enemies have. So you can actually see that in a little bar. Normally you're not able to see that. Now just quick, we're going to take a look at the user interface. The only main thing that we want to look at up here is we have our scoreboard in the upper left hand corner. This will tell you who's winning the match. Now for team deathmatches, the first team to reach 75 kills is the winner, and it has a 10-minute timer, so the matches will not go beyond 10 minutes. You also have your ammo counts, and you have your grenade cooldown timer, and your hit points. Alright, now taking a look at these pickups here, we have health pickups. Every character has 100 hit points. That's important. We're going to be coming back to that in just a little bit. You have ammo pickups. It's also important to keep in mind that you do not start out with full ammo. You can always pick up an ammo pack right off the bat, and that will help you. And of course, these green things are the armor. You use that kind of like extra hit points. Now at the beginning of the match, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pick your loadout. When you first start out the game, being level 1, you have access to the 3 main loadouts. Now, these are all fine, pick whatever you like. Personally, I like the shotgun and the heavy assault rifle, which is not one of the original combinations. But once you hit level 2, then you can start doing custom loadouts. Now, taking a look at damage numbers, this is actually an option that you can turn on or off within the game. I personally kind of like it because it helps me keep track of how much life my enemies will have left. Now again, we have 100 hit points, and unless somebody's going around collecting all the armor that they can, usually that will max out at 50. So at the most we're talking about 150 hit points. Now each weapon will do a specific amount of damage, and you can kind of keep track of that. I haven't had the chance to sit down with all the different weapons yet and try out all their different damage numbers, but I will tell you about my favorite ones. So the heavy assault rifle does 9 damage unless you hit a critical shot, which will do between 12 and 15. Now, because our enemies have 100 hit points, that means we're going to have to do at least 12 shots in order to take one out. Now, this is probably one of the weakest weapons in the game, but the nice thing about it is that it does have a really good range and it's very versatile. So you can do up close, and then you can also shoot somebody from the other side of the map, kind of like what we have with the sniper rifle called the vortex rifle. Now the super shotgun, which is one of my personal favorites, will of course vary a little bit depending on how many of the actual shots hit the enemy. This is typical of any shotgun. Now you can use your alternate fire, which is your right mouse button, and that will actually shorten the spread so you're able to do more concentrated damage. This is really good if you've got a clear shot. If not, you'll kind of want to hit as much space as you possibly can. Now, the highest damage I've managed to do with a shotgun so far has been 75, which, as you can imagine, will just about knock out an enemy. If they have any damage at all, that'll put them in a very difficult position. The rocket launcher actually does less damage than the shotgun. Your main amount of damage you're going to do with that, if you hit your enemy straight on, is about 55 damage, which, again, isn't quite as much. Other weapons that are pretty handy are the lightning gun. You don't see the plasma rifle used very much. The vortex rifle sucks because everybody kills you with it. It is a one-shot kill most of the time if they can get you in the head. And then there's another weapon called the static rifle. Now this is not something you're going to have immediate access to. I think you unlock it at level 10. And it's kind of interesting. It actually powers up depending on how much you walk. And so a fully charged static rifle will do 75 damage, kind of like the shotgun. It's a lot more precise and you can hit people from further away with it. And that can be pretty handy as compared to the shotgun, where you have a chance of doing less damage. My personal favorite loadouts right now, I'm using the shotgun with the heavy assault rifle. That seems to be very effective for me. It gives me the versatility, so I'm able to do some damage up close, and then I usually try to avoid any sort of ranged combat because people have sniper rifles and I don't. So going back to our enemy health, again, each player has 100 hit points, and we're not able to see how many hit points they actually have at any given time unless you're using one of those hack modules or the bounties. What you can do is pay attention to their colors. Now there's two different things that you can actually see because we have a couple of visual cues here. The more damage that an enemy is received, they will actually be covered in blood and they'll have more blood on them. So for example, you'll see that some characters have a lot of blood, which means that they're really close to dying. And you have some who don't have any, which means that they're probably at full health. Another thing that you'll want to watch out for is that when an enemy flashes yellow, that's an indication that you can finish them off with a melee attack. Typically the melee attacks don't do as much damage as you'd see in something like Halo, but you will find that they are very satisfying. Another important thing to note is sometimes you'll see these little glowing things. If somebody's standing near them, shoot them and they will explode. I've been able to do as much as 50 damage with one of these things, which is nice because if that means you can knock an enemy down to half health right off the bat, follow up with a shotgun, and you're good. Alright, now let's talk about the Demon Rune. This is a power-up that will spawn occasionally throughout the game, and it will transform you into a demon of your choice. At this point I've only seen Revenants. I don't know if there are any others that are available in the beta. However, we do know that there are a lot that will be coming out with the game once it's released. I don't know if their information is going to be different, but again, talking just about the Revenant, this is what we have. When you transform into a Revenant, it lasts for 60 seconds. You will have 300 life, and the power-up can be dropped if you are killed. If the power-up is dropped, a member of the enemy team can pick it up immediately, and a member of your own team can pick it up after about 5 seconds. It will say that it's locked out. Your skills while you are a Revenant is you will have a jetpack, which lets you fly all over the place, and you also have access to some rockets. Rockets are very effective, and they're typically one-shot kills. Now the jetpack is great because it helps you with your mobility. You're able to chase enemies down, you're able to find them, get above them, and then kill everybody with a splash damage from above. Now, there is a counter to the Revenant, and that is another pickup that randomly spawns. It's called the Gauze Rifle, and it is a very strong weapon. I haven't seen where this spawns or if it's available in all the different maps, but there is one where you can pick it up, and it does 150 damage, but it only has 2 rounds. So that is enough to take out a Revenant almost immediately. Also, if you're fighting against the Revenant, if you shoot the jetpack on the back, that is where you'll land any critical hits, and you can also disable the jetpack, which severely limits the Revenant's mobility. It makes it a lot easier to take them out. Now, because the Revenant only lasts for 60 seconds, and because they are so powerful, usually it's kind of a question of whether or not you want to take out the Revenant and try to pick up the... It really comes down to a question of whether or not you want to take out the Revenant and pick up the power-up for yourself, for your own team, or if you want to just kind of hold back and hide for a little bit, wait for the 60 seconds to go up, and then continue on. Revenants are very powerful and they can be a huge help to your team when they're on your team, but obviously they can be very detrimental if they are not. My best advice is to coordinate some sort of attack. Remember that you do have voice chat in the game, and that does make planning those kinds of attacks and coordinating those things a lot easier. And again, you have to remember that the Revenant only has 300 life, and so if you're able to hit it a few times with your rocket launchers or with a shotgun, usually you don't want to be close enough to use a shotgun, then you can take them down relatively easily. Okay, and so now the match is over, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what happens after the match. So the first thing they're going to do is they're going to show you So the first thing they'll do is they will highlight the top 3 players, which you can see in this particular case, I was number 3. I'm the one in blue on the right. Now one of the customizable things that we have with our characters is we're actually able to customize the taunts that we use. You'll see that I use 3 different taunts, and there are a few others available as well. If you do manage to end up in the top 3, you can use these taunts just as you would in the game. Just push the associated button. Now looking at the end cards, one of the most important things that we want to look at are the new items that we picked up. Now after each match we have a chance of picking up hack modules, we can get new color palettes, we can get customized gear, we can get patterns, and you're also able to unlock weapons starting at level 10, which is when you get the static rifle. You have your rewards, which are basically the same thing you'd see in any other game. Multi-kills, comebacks, grenades, stuff like that. Challenges are kind of like your missions or your achievements. As soon as you reach them, you'll receive a certain amount of experience points, which will help you to level up. When you level up, you'll unlock more loadouts, you'll unlock that new weapon, you'll be able to access some more hack modules, and you'll also be able to access more custom loadouts. Leveling up does not necessarily make you OP or give you any sort of serious advantage over any other players, it just gives you more options. The thing that I personally enjoy seeing the most whenever I finish a match is I like seeing new customization options. So we have 3 different things that we can customize in this game so far. We have our own character where we're able to customize the armor pieces that we use. Again, these are simply cosmetic, they don't actually affect gameplay. You're able to choose colors, patterns, and things like that. We can also do the same with our weapons. And again, it's almost the exact same process. We can choose the patterns, we can choose the colors, secondary colors, accent colors, things like that. And then finally, we can also choose the taunts that we like the most. I think that'll do it for this first basics video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it and I hope you've learned something. If you have any additional information that you would like to add that you think that any newbie should know, please leave those in the comments below. If you are a newbie, be sure to check out those comments to see what kind of advice people have left. I will be doing a couple more videos going into a little bit more detail of the weapons and their different damages and things like that. And I think that'll do the trick. And then I need to do another video on the other game mode, which is a control the area. Basically everything's still the same, except that instead of focusing on killing everybody, you're trying to kill everybody while standing in a certain spot. So keep that in mind, and that should be coming out sometime for the next couple of days. That should do it for me though. My name is Tristan, this is my little corner of the internet. Have yourselves a great day. I will see you all in game. Peace.